feed my sheep. So what's going on here in these verses? We see that Jesus asked, not once, not twice, but 3 times if Peter loved him. The same number of times that Peter ultimately denied Christ. But something that's really important to note when we read these verses, there is no record of harsh words or recrimination in Jesus' talking to Peter. Instead, Jesus not only reinstates or redeems Peter, but he tasks him with a vital mission. He tells Peter, feed my sheep or take care of the Lord's people. And we see that Peter now has a choice. Peter can move on, he can accept God's call in his life, or he can stay stuck in the past. Jesus was giving him an opportunity despite Peter's shortcomings, despite his past failures. Jesus wanted to use Peter for God's glory. And y'all, here's the deal. Peter didn't have to deny his past. His story displayed the good news of God's redemptive power. God didn't give up on Peter, and he will not give up on you. So we don't have to be too proud to tell other people the way that the Lord has changed us and the way that he continues to work in our life since we trusted him as Christ and Savior. So let's go back. Let's look at Peter, the hot-headed, outspoken, kindred spirits here, obviously, fisherman whose blunders were recorded in scriptures for millions to read for all eternity. And to think, I'm worried about being in the high school yearbook for most outspoken, that I can assure you that no one looks at except maybe for me and my children to remind me how much I've aged over the years, right? But y'all, Peter didn't allow those things to thwart his love for Jesus. He was wholeheartedly dedicated to sharing the gospel. He was considered the leader of the 12 disciples. Acts 2:41 tells us that over 3,000 people accepted Christ after one of Peter's preachings. And Acts 4:4 on another occasion tells us that over 5,000 people came to know Christ because of Peter. Peter is considered one of the most influential people in the advancements of the gospel. And to think, that could have never happened if he'd chosen to believe that his past disqualified him, changed the way that God created him, or believed that his assignment wasn't as significant as someone else's. Our unique story is a special way that God equips us to share the bigger, greater story of the gospel. Now, you may not be able to eloquently recite the Roman road or the ABCs of salvation. That's okay, because I know that you can easily recall who you were before Christ and how he rescued you and what your life is like now for others. God uses ordinary people to share the extraordinary story of the gospel.